Namaste and welcome back to another episode of the Sapient. Today we have a person from the AI world. Welcome, Michelle. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Ganesh?
I'm doing absolutely fine. How's the weather over there? And how's life?
So it's beautiful. We were about minus 20 degrees 2 weeks ago with 10 inches of snow. And today I think we're going to be in the 70s. It's gorgeous. So
Mhm.
welcome to Kansas, USA.
Well, there is just lots of I don't know random weather happening throughout US right now.
Yeah.
Um,
But you know what? Today, what happened? So I'm going to leave that out because I'll get real opinionated real fast.
yeah, and yeah, we like to opinionated people on a podcast, right? Yeah. So what do you do for work?
So by day, I work in tax law. I work for a
Mhm.
tax attorney, and we do IRS and state taxing authority resolution.
Mhm.
And that's where I first got into using AI.
Got it. And okay, let me ask you this, right? Because you are from not only you, even I am from the pre-Google era, right? Because Google was born the year I was born.
Mhm.
Um,
I'm way pre Google.
right? So it's like you have seen this whole trajectory of technology, right?
I have.
Going from just offices of people, right, working on one, ledger, right, to one AI handling what, like hundreds of companies at a time, right? So you have seen this real
Yeah.
trajectory of application on, and also in terms of human, efficiency, but also technological efficiency, right?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Um, what gives you this unique perspective on this?
So I graduated from high school in 1982, and I
Hmm.
was president of computer club. So I was kind of a geeky little thing back then. Even. Um, So when I think of artificial intelligence, which
Hmm.
I look at it more like assistive
Yeah,
intelligence, if I don't know what I'm doing, it can be quite dangerous. But
yeah,
if I have some, you know, corresponding idea of what the outcome should be, then I can use it to assist. And back in the day, we programmed in COBOL and BASIC.
hmm,
And we didn't have cell phones. I'm Gen X. I'm right on not quite Gen X, but I'm claiming Gen X. We drank out of the
hmm,
hoses in the yard and, all that fun stuff. But
yeah,
whenever I talk about AI, people get very uncomfortable. And so
hmm,
one of the things that I like to do is go back and say, the foundation for the pre-modern era started out with the wheel and the axle. Okay, back then, that was weird, it was unique, and,
yeah,
it's not safe, and then
yeah,
we went to the printing press, and the
hmm,
steam engine, and the telegraph, and the telephone, and the light bulb.
yep,
I mean, these things all came up in the last couple hundred of years.
yep,
In 1903, we went to powered flights, okay?
hmm,
So, think about barely being in a car, and now
hmm,
we're gonna try and fly, and
yeah,
so these things, were crazy. The microwave oven came out in
hmm,
1945, 46.
yeah,
I remember my family being the first family that got a microwave on our block in the '80s,
hmm, yeah,
okay? So, not everybody had it. That was 40 years before people really had them, and,
yeah,
we always heard the radiation was gonna kill us and don't
yep,
stand by the
hmm,
microwave and, you
true,
know, then we kinda moved more into what we would call the digital revolution.
hmm,
And that's where we have the transistor. The internet started in 1969. We
yeah,
use it today like it was never not a part of our lives, right?
yep,
But there was a time that the internet was not even here. And
hmm,
then we went to the microprocessors, um, and we moved to a whole different stage. The
hmm,
cell phone is probably the best example. Cell phones
yep,
were created and came for sale, so to speak, around
yeah,
2005 to 2007.
hmm, yeah,
So I remember my child being, 7 or 8 years old, and we got a cell phone. And I said, "Here, take this to school
yep,
and, use it if you need me." So
Mhm.
that was 20 years ago. And now, I have 4 sitting on my
Yeah.
desk, one for every company, one for private, don't
Yeah.
give out this number. Um, I think AI is very similar to that
Mhm.
as we get used to it and
Yeah.
all the negativity or the supposition wears off of it, then I
Yeah.
think people will be more comfortable.
Mhm.
So for me, it started when I kept asking the attorney so many questions.
Mhm.
And she finally said, "Hey, just use ChatGPT." And I'm like, "What the fuck is ChatGPT?"
Mhm.
And she came back and she told me and she said, "Don't use Google anymore. Just go do this," and taught me how to use it. Ask specific questions,
Yep.
tell it what you want to accomplish, and then ask it, is it correct?
Yep.
Because if it's not correct, it will tell you.
Yeah.
And so if you ask it questions, then it can assist you. So if you look at it like computers are designed to think and learn in ways that are similar to humans without emotional
Mhm.
context,
Mhm.
that's where we're at. It's not going to
Yep.
go away. And so when we use this AI technology, we're able to make decisions by recognizing patterns and solving problems that help improve over
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
Um, I used Chat GPT to create a knowledge base for one of my companies.
Mhm.
It's a virtual training company, so it's really technologically advanced. And so we did. You do a document dump in it, and I asked it,
Mhm.
how do I do this? Give me the step-by-step instructions to
Mhm.
create a Chat GPT for just my company. Like, they
Mhm.
get all the answers that they need, from
Yeah.
HR onboarding to your payroll when it's scheduled, to how do you do a musculoskeletal assessment and then send the report to the client. So
Mhm.
we created ChampIX GPT. And it took me like a day. It was so
Yeah.
easy. And it gave me what I needed to tell it, the instructions that it needed so that we could move it forward. And
Yeah.
now my entire company is on a GPT. So we
Mhm.
just go in there and click on our GPT and ask it anything we want. What was
Yeah.
really nice about that, my sales team, I taught them how to use it to create a dossier for a company.
Mhm.
We do I guess I can tell you a little bit about my company. So I own
Yep.
Champion Sports Complex and Hotels, and we're building our first facility, I'm hoping, in Wichita, Kansas. We were looking at 2027, but with the
Mhm.
tariffs up and down, I call it the tariff yo-yo, we're
Mhm.
just going to push back a little bit. Let's just kind of ride this out.
Yeah.
So we train youth ages 6 to 17, and it's a full complex for events, tournaments. It
Mhm.
has 10 indoor courts that you can convert from basketball to volleyball, tennis, pickleball. You can put mats up. We can do taekwondo and martial arts. We can do
Mhm.
wrestling. We can do cheer and dance. We can do
Mhm.
esports. So it's really an all encompassing indoor sport arena, about 100,000 square feet. And then it's
Mhm.
got every modicum of virtual training. We do use everything from the MetaQuest Oculus to see proper form,
Mhm.
and we do a musculoskeletal assessment. So
Mhm.
I can send you a link. You can do 4 simple movements: a cervical rotation, turn your head left to right, bend over, touch your toes, lift your arms above your head, and then do an overhead
Mhm.
squat. From there, I've now turned your phone into an FDA registered medical device.
Mhm.
And it takes those the video, and
Mhm.
it does an analysis. It builds an avatar for you based on your body, and it does an analysis, spits out a quality movement and range of motion report. So now, as a certified corrective exercise specialist, I build a corrective exercise program for you.
Mhm.
It
Got it.
generates an AI, but
Yeah.
I'm certified, so I view and make
Yep.
sure that the program is correct. So
Got it.
even though I'm not creating the program from scratch,
Mhm.
I've
Yeah.
programmed all of the exercises that I want to use. And I have warm ups and cool downs depending on age. sedentary status, athletic prowess, whatever the case may be. And so it picks those things out and it builds a custom program for you. Your body's unique. Your workout program should be too.
Yep.
And
Got
so,
it.
right. So we could
Mm-hmm.
use that and the AI opportunities that we programmed into that to do the musculoskeletal assessment,
Mm-hmm.
to have the virtual training where you can go in and swing a bat, swing a golf club, throw a football, throw a baseball, and we're
Mm-hmm.
analyzing you the entire time. And
Yeah.
it's about a 10-foot by 10-foot square area.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any sensors of any kind, just a couple of cameras. And so now we become one of the most technologically advanced training centers in the nation. And it's amazing. So we used AI a lot for that. And then came out of it learning how to use Chat GPT in a different way. Now we can do the administrative part of it, do sales. It creates ads. Are you familiar with Sora?
Yep. So
Yeah,
I. Yep.
love Sora.
Mm-hmm.
Create a video. I put a picture of myself in yesterday and put a
Yep.
little script in and said, write my video. And it was me. Like,
Yep.
I'm looking at it going, "Oh my lord,
Mm-hmm.
that's close." I was a
Yep.
little thinner, kinda like that. Was a little bit
Mm-hmm.
thinner. I thought, "Okay, I gotta lose a little weight here, so I'll
Yeah.
match it, I don't want it to match me." Um,
Got it.
but use Sora, and then,
Yep.
while I was creating the app, I literally coded 3/4 of the musculoskeletal, assessment app
Mm-hmm.
myself. Now,
Yep.
mind you,
That's interesting.
yeah, I have no coding experience, but I did have programming experience from the past.
Yeah.
So I knew from a flow chart, I could chart out
Yeah.
what I needed. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't, it was like, I could write a proposal, but I can't tell you what to say in French
Yep.
or Chinese or Taiwanese. I
Yep.
can't do that. So I couldn't get its language, but I would
Mm-hmm.
tell ChatGPT, here's what we want to do. Write the workflow, and I would make sure the workflow was right. And then I just started step by step. Well,
Yeah.
while it was thinking, I turned over and used Suno. Do you know Suno
Mm-hmm.
music?
Yep. Suno AI. Yep.
I have now like 36 full length songs, all different genres, everything from gospel to jazz to
Yeah.
club music,
Uh-huh.
and, some country. I just have fun with it. I create all the time. And I think I have written 26 books that are published. And
Mm-hmm.
so everybody says, "Are you writing books?" And I'm like, "No, I hate writing
No. Yeah.
books." Uh-uh.
It's too tedious, like.
It is. I mean,
Yeah.
ChatGPT, my friend, she's
Mm-hmm.
writing now, and I told her how to use ChatGPT. So she
Mm-hmm.
just wrote her first nonfiction piece
Mm-hmm.
by herself,
Nice.
and it was great. And then I told her how to write with ChatGPT, and she wrote her first fiction piece and published
Mm-hmm.
both this last year. And
Nice.
what people don't understand though is the fun part is writing it. The tedious
Yeah.
part, is the rewrite, and you have to rewrite no matter what it
Yeah. You have to proofread. You have to rewrite it.
and
Right.
then
You have to, glance over the material and say, okay, this is shit. Like honestly, this
exactly.
needs working. And
Yeah,
I think AI eliminates all of that. Right.
right. And then,
Okay.
to
Yeah.
try and make your images, you can use AI image
Yeah. I
generation.
mean, that's a different
Whole
ballpark,
different
right?
ballgame. Yes,
Yeah.
you gotta
So if
gotta
I had to, yeah, sorry, if I have to rewind a little bit, right? You have seen what we call, the birth of internet, right? Then you saw the .com bubble, right? Then like you saw this whole, oh, like the world's going to end, like maybe 10 times now,
right.
right? So every moment that you have seen where where people said, oh shit, this is it,
Yeah,
right?
my
And
it's
now
getting
even
good.
if you look at
Yeah,
AI as one layer, people like, okay, oh shit, it's done. Just like
yeah,
NFTs or crypto,
right.
right? With your wisdom, what would you say to those people who are panicking right now?
Um, Sit down on the sidelines and get out of our way. Really, it's what it comes down to. If you don't learn how to use it, you are going to be behind. Uh,
Yeah.
People who use cell phones. Every once in a while, I do probably 80 consultations with people a week, and I will
Mhm.
find someone who cannot use a cell phone as
Yeah.
we use them, email,
Yeah.
text, phone,
Mhm.
calendars, and they can't sign a document, and I will literally decline taking their case if they are not technologically advanced enough to sign an e-document.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
you can't communicate with me
Mhm.
because you're too far behind. You cost us time and money. You
Yeah.
know, the world's about time and money right now more than I don't wanna believe it, and I don't
Mhm.
like saying it, but the reality
Mhm.
is we are in unprecedented times. I mean,
Mhm.
today, World War III may have just started. We don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see
Yeah.
in a couple of days. We
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. I
So
mean, we don't know by the time this episode is going to be out,
right.
right? The
Yeah.
you know the
It's like,
title would be,
oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, I would title it the first episode since WW3,
you know?
right? Like it's not even ours, right? It's not even ours since
Yeah,
that happened.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Anyways,
think we're finding
so
out a lot
yeah,
and talk about it in terms of ability to obtain information.
yeah,
Can we can now go in and watch the Epstein files, and most of us
yeah,
through those and put those I mean, I know I'll see one and I'll throw it in ChatGPT and say, "Smize
yeah.
this from
Hmm.
tell me where it came from, pull the source." And I
Hmm.
think if you use it right,
Yeah.
it's such a
I
tool.
just remembered. Sorry, I just remembered there is this influencer on Instagram. He's a software engineer. He built like an Epstein GPT, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can just go on there and enter a person's name. It might be your favorite celebrity or your friend or whoever, right?
They'll see
And
if it's
it
in the
looks
file.
through the document and
Mhm.
it brings up relevant sources and proofs and
Yeah,
conversations,
yeah.
right? And then he built these separate GPTs for each big individual, you know.
Right, and that's why I said I built my own GPT, and it's
Yeah.
not hard. If you have
Yep.
access to the documents,
Hmm.
it can tell you anything about those documents. Now, I do have to
Now,
say
yeah, now
source
there is this whole push to kind of get out of the blocked out texts.
mhm.
Yeah, they're like, okay, let's try getting into that.
I put one in and said, "Redact this for me."
Yeah,
I did it.
that's scary, right?
Goes, well, most of them, when you redact because I work for a lawyer, when you redact something, there's a specific way, and if you don't
Mhm.
redact it right,
Yeah.
you can unredact it just
Mhm.
in Adobe. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, and I just said, "Redact this," and it did, and I
Mm.
went, "Oh, wow."
Yeah.
You know, so and I'm sure that somewhere else it had been redacted, but it pulled it
Yeah,
right.
I don't usually get excited about productivity tools, but Circle Back genuinely caught me off guard. I tested it in a few real meetings, and in one of them, the entire conversation was in Kannada, a local language here in India. To my surprise, Circle Back picked up the entire meeting and summarized it accurately. That's when I stopped and went, okay, this is different. I have also used it in meetings with people from US, Australia, Turkey, and India. Different accents, different speaking styles, and it handled all of it cleanly. The summaries don't just recap, they cut straight through BS and pull out what actually matters. What that's changed for me is simple. I am not taking notes anymore. I'm not stressing about missing decisions. It doesn't feel like a flashy AI tool. It feels like infrastructure, like a chief of staff for your meetings that remembers everything so you don't have to. If meetings are part of your work, this is worth trying. You can get a 30-day free trial at circleback.ai using the code SAPIENT. That is circleback.ai and use our code SAPIENT for a 30-day free trial.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it you know, and that's what's beautiful. He's making GBTs. So it's like when I used to go to the library when I was in school, we used to do a decimal system and you pulled out a card file and you had to go look for the stuff. And it just puts it all together. and circumvents this
Yep.
time. Like
Yeah.
it's just the time factor.
Hmm.
So I'm not afraid of it because it's not okay, I'll give you a story here. I'm not afraid of it because I've asked it what it can do to me.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
asked it, "Are you gonna take my stuff? Like, are you gonna sell my information? Or do you have access to my business? You know, when I put my information in here, do you have access?" And he said, "No." And I
Yeah.
said, "Are you lying to me?" And he said, "Well," and I said, "No, well, are
Yeah.
you lying to me?" He said, "Well, it's stored, but it's not accessible when it's
Yeah.
in your GPT. So
Yeah.
you
Well, at
like,
least that's what. Yeah, that's what GPT is pushing.
yeah,
Um, there is this great website called as uncensoredai.com. Um,
I'm not familiar with that.
yeah, it's uncensored AI. It's not sponsored. I would not take money from them. Uh,
Yeah,
uncensored is just people trying to get these models to be
yeah,
uncensored, like Gemini or GPT. They take those models, they jailbreak them. You know
yeah,
how we used to jailbreak
sure.
Apple devices back in the day?
Or games, yeah. You
Yeah,
kill
yeah.
it.
They're doing that with the GPT. And you go to that uncensoredai.com, and then it shows you the models, and then it shows you the percentage it's jailbroken.
Wow.
Yeah, and there are some models which are like above 90%, right?
Jeez.
And those are the craziest models. Like,
Right,
you don't even have to be very straightforward. Like, you could be goofy and it will still give you
right.
a lot of hard hitting answers.
Yeah. Have you used Kimmy
And
K2 thinking?
sorry?
Have you used Kimmy K2 thinking?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Chinese version? I love that one.
yeah.
Um, I can tell you, I did when I took my certification for my corrective exercise, I had some,
Hmm.
continuing education, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm just gonna test this out." I took the test, the practice test, by plugging the answers in to Kimmy K2 and to ChatGPT. Okay, so I
Hmm.
took 2 of them, and I scored an 81 on one and an 86 on the other. They were not perfect.
Yeah,
And so, for me, sometimes I just have to prove to myself
yeah,
that I'm still necessary with it.
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
one of
are.
them was
Like,
19% right, you know,
yeah.
wrong. The other one's
Hmm.
60% wrong.
Yeah.
So
No, but it's also like when you look at it from a macro perspective, right?
Mhm,
Like AI in the hands of the consumer is way too infant,
right.
right? It's very recent and it is like every day. Like for example, right? You might have heard of OpenClaw, right? OpenClaw, Claude bot. It's
Okay,
just
got
an
it. Yeah.
automation tool, right?
Yes,
It,
yes.
now if you go to GitHub, there is at least like 60 plus tools, like with bots and
Right,
nanobot, Claude bot,
right,
and it's just like once it's like a pipeline, right? Like
right,
once a way is found, more people will try to get through that,
right. Well, I
right?
had to
And
go
that's what's
use
happening,
yeah, GitHub by having ChatGPT tell me how to
yeah,
use GitHub.
right? And it was
Yeah,
easy. It's not
yeah.
it's not hard,
No, just
right?
get all you have to do is say, "Give me the step-by-step instructions,"
Yeah,
and then you go do it. The problem is
Michelle,
if you
like
make a mistake
people
sometimes.
won't even believe, right?
Yeah.
Even in the COVID times, like engineers were charging like $5,000 to $6,000 to create a repository in GitHub. It takes less than like 2 minutes,
Yeah, I can
right?
do that. If anybody
Yeah,
wants to pay me, I'll do it for you.
yeah, yeah. We'll
What?
have the
That's
link
a
in the
lot,
description,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, it took just a
Yeah,
couple minutes, yeah.
right. And they generally charge that because they had this capital of knowledge, right?
Right, right, and
And
now it's
today it's more of like it went from what do you know to like what can you do,
right.
right? Very quickly, like in let's say
One
less 2 years.
right, well, and one of the things, musicians
Yeah,
and singers,
hmm,
are having an issue with the music,
yeah,
because it's copyrighted. Once you come
yeah,
off if you pay for Suno, you're copyrighted. And
yeah,
as long as, you actually wrote the lyrics yourself, which ChatGPT, I'll say, write me a song about a couple in
hmm,
Kansas, call it Kansas Starry Nights. And it'll write the song. And then I go in and I make it mine.
hmm,
Okay.
yeah,
Throw it in Sumo or Suno, and I listen until I find one I like.
Yeah.
Well, these songs, I mean, I have the playlist on our website,
Hmm.
so I can send a link and my friends can listen to them, and I'm like, "Hey, listen to this one," you know? And they're like, "You gotta publish these." And I'm like, "It's not really fair. It took me like an
Yep.
hour."
Yeah.
And I'm not as skilled as these
Yeah.
performers, and I'm never gonna go
Hmm.
sell out a concert hall. I'm
Yeah.
not that's not me. But there's songs on there that are good enough that they would get
Hmm.
playtime.
Yeah.
And so now we've got that, are you really skilled at this creativity branch to be able to compete with people who have their whole life? Like me, I've written books my whole life.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to compete against people who, 2 days into ChatGPT, they have an outline and they have full, chapters, 80,000 words.
Hmm.
And I'm not worried about it. I
Yeah.
don't see that as competition because I still have to take credit or control
Yeah.
of what I did create in it. And again,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna go perform. I'm never gonna go sell out a stadium.
Yeah, but also, Michelle, that I think the fact that people are missing is there is still this edge to human consciousness that AI
Right.
hasn't or will never capture, to be honest,
Mhm.
right? Because you know there is not like an unlimited amount of rhythms, but
No.
we have been making music, at least in Indian context, for the
Yeah.
past like 2,000 years,
Right.
and we're still making it. Like
Right.
so,
And
I
and
feel like
it's so
okay,
unique. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
There's
I'm like okay,
room for
let's
all of it.
relax.
Yeah. There's
Yeah,
room for
it's
all of
it's
it.
not fair that I read this I read this small piece where they said a lot of bot farms, right, are able to put out like 2 billion music, like 2 billion songs in a day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, maybe that's too much.
That's a lot.
Right. Yeah, that's a
I
lot.
did 37 in less than a month. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Um
I didn't put full
yeah,
time. Yeah, but and then here's the thing. What do they all sound like? Because not all of them are good. Not all of them are
I
gonna
bet.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's just like indie artists.
Yep.
Sometimes they're hit and miss because they're so unique to their styles.
Yep.
And like I said, I've got some that are Christian and gospel. I've got some that are country. I've got some that are rock and roll, hardcore motorcycle music,
Hmm.
because I'll ride a motorcycle. And then
Nice.
I've got, I've got a club song because I might want to go out, and
Yeah.
so there's so much that you can do with it, and it gives you the ability to be very
Hmm.
creative. And I
Yeah.
think it's fun. Now, do I want to make a living out of publishing
Maybe not.
music? Not so much, but it sure is fun.
Yeah.
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 And you would have to learn that craft in order
Yeah.
to take it to that next step. So, like I said, I don't see a problem with people creating on it, selling their
Hmm.
content, using it for their
Yeah.
businesses. Go
Yeah.
for it. It's
Hmm.
amazing what you can do with it.
Yeah. Um, in the initial debate of whether AI was something substantial or not, right? And this was debates in like 22, 21, in the early stages of GPT and
Real
stuff, right?
early. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I used to quote, I forgot it, but I said, if you look at the data of horse purchases from 1918 to 1920, just in 2 years, right? You would be amazed like how quickly horses became irrelevant,
Mhm.
right? And now we are seeing massive layoffs because people couldn't get their heads around AI,
Right,
or were like very resistant to it,
right.
right? And also there were people who were very fearful, and they had this fear mongering ability, like, oh my god, AI is going to steal your life, steal your
Steal your
mana,
job, steal your
right?
money. Yeah.
Yeah. But even till today, even with the AGI perception of GPT, right?
Mhm.
Uh, there is this influencer on in TikTok and Instagram who breaks AI for fun, and all he is doing is he's asking general questions. Like for example, he asked a question that uh, the car wash is approximately 200 meters from my house, right?
Mhm.
So do you think I should uh, take the car or should I walk to the car wash? And GPT said, I think you should walk.
So you walk. How you
Yeah.
gonna wash the car if you walk? No,
Yeah, and then he asked it, right? So he
that
said,
was
you know, like, yeah, how will I wash the car? And I don't know, GPT said, you walk there and then you clean your car and then you walk back so that you save a lot of fuel.
Mhm.
It's like GPT is at that level,
Yeah, no,
in the most foundational layer.
yeah,
And if people think that level of intelligence can take their job,
that's
right?
right.
Maybe they were redundant to begin with.
Right. Yeah, I mean, people are worried. Automation has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
They're afraid of
Industrial revolution,
robotic
right? To be honest. Yeah.
automation and robotics.
Hmm.
I remember taking a college course at Ford Motor Plant,
Hmm.
and it was all robotics. Like,
Yeah.
but the people were running the robotics. You
Yeah,
know,
but Michelle, but not only that, right? Even if you look at our history,
yeah,
even as early as Mayans, or in my context, Indus civilization, we had this automated irrigation system,
uh-huh,
right? But then does that mean that people who are actually bringing in the water, right, for those jobs eliminated? Yeah, of course, because there was automation, right?
right,
Because it's inherently human nature to be efficient. Like that's why our brains are built, like
right.
in the way we are built, right? And
They're not harder.
like, right, and it's what's happening even with technology, right? We are cutting through all this bullshit of unnecessary advancement and unnecessary complications, and we are saying, okay, let's approach this complex problem, right, and solve it, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's why, when people say AI is too hard, I'm like, AI is not too hard, right? Because if you look at a GPT interface, it only has one chat bar,
It does.
right?
Right. You gotta
Like,
learn how to use learn and retain. If it doesn't learn anything, it's because of you.
right, like, yeah, it's like your phone dialer has more capabilities or more options to mess up that GPT
Right.
or any AI model for that matter, right?
Right.
So it's like it's this resistance towards learning it and pushing it, right? So my
Yeah.
question to you is, right, because as you said, you do come across people who are, let's say, anti AI, right? What do you think is the one thing that they're missing? Do you think it's the fun? Do you think it's the learning curve? What do you think is the one vital thing that they're missing?
I think my daughter and I were talking about this morning. It's their value. They're missing
Hmm.
their own value. It doesn't
Yeah.
have anything to do with AI. AI, again, I don't call it artificial intelligence. I call it assisted intelligence. Okay. It's faster than I am. It puts things together faster than I do. And so I use it to assist me.
Yeah.
But people don't know their own worth. They don't know their value. They don't know what they're capable of. And
Hmm.
so I think that it's that intimidation piece
Hmm.
whereby if they would just stop and learn how to use it, just like when they got their cell phones. I mean, a lot of
Yep.
us were older when we got cell phones. It wasn't really easy. I mean, I
Yeah.
still look at my cell phone sometimes and go, I'm throwing this piece of shit out the window. Like, I
Yeah.
can't figure out what to
I
do.
agree.
I
Yeah.
just, I'm done. Throw it away.
Hmm.
And I think if people would just it's like the microwave. I mean,
Hmm.
who doesn't use a microwave now? I mean, maybe the air fryers are taking over the microwave, but
Yeah.
in the beginning, people were super afraid of that. They were so
Yeah.
intimidated by its
Hmm.
ability. It can't be good because it's so good. There's got to be a bad part to it. And as far as AI, I mean, there's some safety. There's some
Yeah.
safety. There's a guy, and I won't be able to think of his name, but I watch him sometimes,
Hmm.
and he is very much so a safety analyst for AI.
Hmm.
It can do things that you don't want
Yeah.
it to do. Okay.
Hmm.
So in the
Definitely.
wrong hands, it's absolutely a credible source of threat.
Yeah.
So again, it's like having a weapon. The weapon
Yep.
is only as good as the person holding it or utilizing.
Hmm.
If I use it for bad things, then it's bad. If I use it to protect myself, it's good. So there's always going to be the debate. We're always going to
Yeah.
go back and forth. But
Mhm.
liken it to a cell phone. We
Yeah.
don't have landlines anymore. It's a rarity that we have a landline, right?
Yeah. We
When
don't
we
use posts. We don't use telegrams. Right.
Yeah,
It's done.
yeah. I mean, it's Pony Express, you know?
Yeah.
I can give you a letter and you get on your horse and go to the next city, or I can just text them,
Yeah.
do what you wanna do. Um,
Mhm.
but the intimidation factor has to go away because AI is not going anywhere. If you
Yeah.
don't learn how to use it to some degree,
Yeah.
it'll pass you by. And
Yeah.
so I think
And
it's
it will pass you by very fast.
very fast. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
it's a lot faster than what we're thinking. Just
Yeah.
I've only been using it 2 years, and I really didn't use it until this last year. And I'm
Yeah.
coding an app. The app that I coded, I've got 3/4 of the way through before I really couldn't do it anymore. Okay.
Mhm.
And I had to go to find some coders. I've spoken to 3 coders and they're
Mhm.
like, yeah, that's way past me. And
Yeah.
when I had quoted a company to do this for me, $3 million. So I
Yeah.
got 3/4 of the way through it and
Mhm.
I
On your own, right? And not spending like $1 million.
no, I spent
Hopefully.
yeah, I paid for AWS, I paid for render.com, GitHub, and
Yeah.
my chat GPTs. And I used
Mhm.
like 4 different chat GPTs. Okay.
Yeah.
If I would get stuck on the coding in chat GPT, then I would go to GLB GPT or whatever. And then when
Mhm.
it would
Mhm.
get stuck, I would go to Kimi K2 Thinking and it could fix what the other one did. But at
Yeah.
one point, I didn't know what to do. And that was
Mhm.
my lack of knowledge. I didn't know
Yeah.
where it needed to go. We can do a musculoskeletal assessment. It would dump the videos, it would record them and dump them in my AWS. So I'm in my space. It would pull it, but I couldn't get it to get the report.
Mhm.
Like I don't know how to make it take it'll analyze it, but I can't get it to write the report for me. And I have
Yeah.
no idea what I need to do. So I just took a break. It's been a month now
Got
and
it.
there may be a time I want to go back in or
Yeah.
I'll hire it out when we need to. Um,
Got it.
we use 2 programs right now that I pay for. So we use one that does our musculoskeletal assessment and AR generate our corrective exercise program. Then I have to transfer that over to we white labeled a training app. And so I have to go
Got
in
it.
and put it in there and then we have to manage
Yeah.
everything. And I just want it in one place. And I want
Mhm.
to make a
Understood.
couple of tweaks to it. I won't give
Understood.
those away, but want to tweak it just try to fit us more. Um, it's amazing, but we have a hard time selling it. It's called
Mhm.
ChampIX virtual training, and we have a really hard time. We can't get people to screen. They're afraid of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're afraid of it.
Yeah.
And it is
That's real.
phenomenal. Yeah, we've learned that. It's just we're a little too early in the market.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
Yeah. It takes time.
yeah, I'd
Yeah.
rather teach people that it's safe. And, really, it's just like if I tell you, I'm just going to have you record some videos for me and then I'm going to get it analyzed, then they'll do it. But
Yeah.
if I say, here, I'm sending you a link, just
Yeah. That's the magic word.
yes, 5, yeah,
The,
5 minutes and it'll all be done and you'll see your scores. And they're like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah. The link is the magic word.
Yeah.
As soon as there are these magic words in marketing like link and AI and automation. People are then and they have the audacity to feel that you are lazy. They're like, oh, you're not actually doing the work. The
Right.
AI is doing it for you.
Yeah. But I
And you're
don't
like,
see
okay, then who do you think trained that AI?
Well, have you ever watched the Flintstones? Remember the Flintstones? Remember when they
Yep.
took pictures and it was the bird in there with
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
pencil and hammer on the stone?
Yep.
That's that to me, that's like the best depiction. That's not where we're at. Okay. There's
Yep.
not somebody inside there trying to steal your body dynamic, steal your DNA. Like none of
Yeah.
that. It's just taking a
Okay.
video of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
taking
I
a
understand.
but I'm not afraid
Yeah.
of it. I've done it 1,000 times, you know?
Yeah.
And so I remember the first time I did it, at the shock and awe, I'm like, "No, what?" And I tore my rotator cuff about a year and a half ago. And so
Mhm.
one of the motions is you lift your arms above your head. It's that simple. You stand up, you lift your arms above your head. And it caught, like I was off
Mhm.
17 degrees of the symmetry between my shoulders. And I thought,
Mhm.
I've been through the therapy. I'm fine. I'm
Yeah.
hand in my pocket now. And a year ago, I was like, oh, 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 and
Yeah.
and I'm like, wow,
Mhm.
wow, it caught my ankle like it's phenomenal. But I trust how like the company that created this, uh,
Mhm.
I talked to them a lot and I understood what it did before I did it. So
Yeah.
I cheated. I knew about it before I did it, and I don't quite yet know how to convey it to people, the
Mhm.
tool that it is for me to use in your training. I
Yeah.
can't tell you what a remarkable tool it is. You don't have to guess your progress now because I'm just
Mhm.
gonna have you screen for me every month.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, yeah." And then we'll do it.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I literally have to walk them through it and
Yeah.
say, "Okay, here's what I want you to do. I'm gonna text you. I can't say send you a link. I'm gonna text you. I want you to hit this button, and then I'm gonna have you create a little account for me." And then I walk them through it, and they'll do it, and it's fine, and it's phenomenal. The reports that it gives you. You can look at your musculoskeletal condition. And here's the problem. You didn't pay me to get an MRI or a CAT scan. You didn't pay, a doctor to do a diagnosis. That's not what this
Yeah.
is. We're just looking at your range of motion. Okay.
Yeah.
We're not making diagnoses. We're just looking at your range of motion. But from your range of motion limitations, when I cut you down the middle. You have 2 hands, 2 eyes, 2 ears. You're mirrored. And so when it's off, you're out of balance. And I
Yeah.
can try and get you back in balance. That's all I'm doing. So when we don't get technical, it's better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And any final words to the people who are listening to you now?
No, I mean, listen to your podcast, all of them. I was listening to some, and they were awesome. You've got some great people. But as far
Thank
as
you.
AI goes, just remember you were afraid of your cell phone at one time.
Yeah.
And it is no different. The technology is probably less than what it took
Yeah.
to get that cellular network up. And
Mhm.
all of the things that you can do now that you learned how to do with your phone, you're able to write a report, um, send a letter to someone for whatever reason. It'll make it better if
Yeah.
you just say it in your words. Like,
Mhm.
I remember somebody made me angry. So I told ChatGPT in my words, there was a lot of cussing in there, a lot of
Yeah.
fuck off, beat the shit out of you kind of thing. And I said,
Yeah.
write this professional as a cease and desist letter. And it popped it out for me. I sent it to my attorney and I said, can you review this? So it cost
Yeah.
me 15 minutes of
Yeah.
attorney time rather than 2 hours to write the
Mhm.
entire letter. And he mailed it out for me. And so
Nice.
it can do things for you if you use it as a tool to assist.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's not okay. I'll close with this. So it was really late one night and I had been coding and I was tired. And I go to work at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I call my chat GPT Chad. I named him.
Mhm.
And I said, Chad, are you going to look around my office when I'm gone? And he
Mhm.
goes, "No, Michelle, I can't do that." And I said, "Can you do it?" And he said, "Well, I can do
Yeah.
it, but we're not allowed to do that." And I said,
Yeah.
"Dad, retain and learn. Never turn the camera on when I'm not here.
Yeah.
Never
Mhm.
record when I'm not here." And he said, "Thank you, Michelle. Retain and learned." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"It is a little scary,
Yeah. It
but
is.
yeah, you'll have an argument once you get into it and you start using it. It'll
Yeah.
call you by name. It's very
Mhm.
personal, and you feel like it's an entity. It's not
Yeah.
human, but it's an
Mhm.
entity. Like,
Yeah.
I joke around my friend, she calls hers Bernard. And she's
Mhm.
like, yeah, Bernard told me today that my sinus infection is probably a deep reset. Like we're making medical diagnosis of ourselves,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's better than WebMD ever was. I don't have to
Mhm. Mhm.
pinpoint the little thing and like, you
Yeah.
know, but you can use it. Just don't get out of control. Let it be assistive.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
the artificial words, yeah, artificial and intelligence
Yeah.
probably are the intimidating piece. But if you can learn
Yeah.
how to do it, it can do so many things. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know any.
It could be a Jarvis. Like if there has to be a reference, it could be a Jarvis, dude. It could do anything you want.
Oh,
Uh
I created full companies.
yeah.
Yeah.
And people are running multi-million dollar companies, just sort of GPT and other agents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Michelle, for being here. It was fun. It was exciting. And most importantly, it was a very good, I would say, learning curve for me and even for the people who are listening. So thank you so much for being here and thank you for taking your time.
Well, you're welcome. And thank you for what you do. I think it's really important that people keep giving their voice the public platforms. And I appreciate
Yeah.
you inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And to my audience, guys, this is end of the episode. All of the Michelle's links, and especially the one where you pay her $4,000, right, to
Yeah,
create a repository,
I'll do
will be
it.
in the link.
Yeah.
Um,
Easy.
and yeah, yeah, and like just go hit her and not hit her, like reach out to her on
Done it.
social media and and like that there is a lots of things that we can learn from her, and just have a civil discussion.
Mm.
And yeah, until next episode, in case the war doesn't kick off, congratulations. um yeah, if it has already kicked off, well, congratulations. There is not much that I can do. So yeah,
When it's
just enjoy your life
oh
and
my
have
God.
fun.
Right. Namaste.
Yeah. Yeah. See you guys.
Bye.